for me, 10:55. It's early on a Sunday morning. So as I started this Batman Batcave reaction series, I noticed that I kept mentioning this video that I saw. It's kind of what drove me to start the series. I mean, I always kind of wanted to do the Batman movies and the video games, like the Arkham Asylum games and all that. But watching this video, it kind of got me to thinking that that I didn't know nothing about Batman and that I wasn't a true fan. Maybe I don't know all the background stuff. I feel like it's kind of like watching the MCU films, but you've only watched Infinity War and Endgame. You haven't watched the Iron Man movies, the Captain America movies. You haven't really seen the movie. Works in itself, and you can kind of get the gist of who these people are in a way. And they're heroes and they're fighting the bad guy. But you didn't get the backstory. 3 movies worth of backstory to each of these individual characters. So I feel like it's important to go back and do this. But I keep mentioning the YouTube video that I watched that kind of got me thinking this way. And so we're just going to watch it again because it's been a while for me. And you'll also understand what I'm talking about. Alright, we have Batman Does Not Kill. This came out on October 2nd, 2018. I think there's been a few things released since then. Like Justice League or the Snyder Cut. Probably a few games. But it's made by High Top Films. Well did video. Let's dive into it.
All I've ever wanted to do is kill him. A day doesn't go by when I don't think about subjecting him to every horrendous torture he's dealt out to others, and then end him. But if I do that, if I allow myself to go down into that place, I'll never come back.
Batman does not kill. So a few weeks back I made this video, and in that video I said this: Batman not killing is what makes him so compelling. If he kills criminals, there is no moral conflict. He is no better than the Punisher, Wolverine, or any other dark, edgy hero.
So earlier, because it's been a while since I watched this, yeah, I brought that up. I was like, well, what about Deadpool or, the Punisher, all these other characters that will kill people willy-nilly, the bad guys. But I guess he's, I don't know, we'll keep going, but he's saying that Batman's different than they are.
And then the comments hit like a plague. So I figured instead of crying in the corner about how hostile YouTube comments are, I'd make a video explaining my viewpoint on the entire Batman killing thing. Before I began work on this video, I needed to find a source. I wanted to talk to a man who probably knows more about Batman than any of you, than me. It took a lot of emails and a lot more courage, but I managed to get an exclusive interview with my source. He told me to meet him in an empty warehouse, and he told me to make sure I got a few reps in at the gym before I showed up. I went to the warehouse, but I skipped the gym. I would soon regret not getting that pump, because as you are about to see, my interview went south real fast. Hey, big fan. So I know things must be rough recently, with everything going on in your life. They took your movie away from you, and I'm sure the original cut was great. I'm sure it was just a phenomenal motion picture. But life sucks sometimes. So I came here to ask you one question: why the fuck does Batman kill in your movie?
Technical way, right? There's a great YouTube video that shows all the kills in the Christopher Nolan movies, even though we would perceive them as movies where he doesn't kill anyone. I think there's 42.
Are you talking about the Mr. Sunday Movies YouTube video? Is that what you based Batman killing off of in your film?
One shot.
In the Nolan movies, the Bruce Wayne is all about not killing people. He has the moment where he tries to kill Joe Chill and he throws the gun in the river because his father would be ashamed of him. Did you see those movies? The Dark Knight, Joker tries to get Batman to break his rule. Hit me. Zach, have you seen these billion-dollar commercial and critical successes that basically got you to be able to make Man of Steel. Have you seen
It
them?
includes, also it goes back and includes even the Tim Burton Batman movies where, this reputation as a guy that doesn't kill comes from. So,
Did you just say that in the Tim Burton movies, that's where his no killing rule comes from? He fucking puts a grenade on a guy and throws him down a shaft and blows him up.
although I would say, in the Frank Miller comic book that I reference, he kills all the time, right?
The Dark Knight Returns, the book where Batman takes the gun, breaks it over his leg, and says, "These are the weapons of cowards."
And all of my guys that I work with were like, "You gotta shoot him in the head," because they're all comic book dorks.
Who the fuck do you work with?
Seems like a thing you really need to kind of find out what happens there, I think.
As you can see, my interview with Zach did not go over well.
All right, so I mean, I get where he's coming from with this. I haven't read the comic. I haven't even watched the Tim Burton movies, but apparently he kills people. But I have seen Christopher Nolan movies, and one thing you do get from that is that he's above killing the bad guys. Like I'm saying, if it came down to it, would he do it? I don't know. I don't think he does it in the Nolan movies. I mean, he's doing the right thing no matter what. I mean, it comes down to him and The Dark Knight, where he pretty much like allows it to where he's the criminal at the end of the movie because he doesn't want Gotham City to see what the Joker did to Harvey Dent and the villain pretty much that he became. So he frames himself, and then he goes in exile. And that's kind of who Batman is. So I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, Frank Miller, this comic where he breaks the gun on this thing, it's freaking awesome. Can't wait till we get to that. But also I feel like he edited it to where Zack Snyder looks like a like a dumbass. And maybe that's how it was. I know he follows some of the source material, like 300, The Watchmen, stuff like that. I don't know, maybe have people in his ear whispering like, all these Batmans have been done, Zach. Like, you need to do a different take on it. You need to do a darker take on it. And I think that's kind of what he goes for in his movies, is a little darker take. I don't know, maybe he had something different in his head when he was going to be making these movies and the way that Batman was going to be portrayed. I mean, at least the way that I remember that he kills people in Batman vs Superman, I remember the fight scene where he's in the like warehouse type thing, and he's like knocking people left and right, knocking their heads into the ground, throwing crates at people. I don't think it seems in the movie like they're being killed, but a guy's not gonna take a crate to the dome and live through that. When he shot the thing on the guy's back, the flamethrower gas can, fuel tank, yeah, that dude died. But what other choice did he have? You know what I mean? Is there a way that he could have got Martha away from him? I don't know. Oh, this is why I'm diving into all of Batman. We're gonna see if watching these movies after all this is gonna upset me the same way that it seems that it upsets him in a way.
So I returned home and got to work writing this script. How could I convince the internet that Batman should never kill? In fact, I needed to convince the internet that it is fucking stupid if Batman kills criminals. So I had to do my research to try and accomplish this impossible task. I used the only resource I had, Google. The origin of Batman's no-killing rule. According to various blogs on the internet, in Batman #4 published December 1940, Batman says to Robin, "We never kill with weapons of any kind." But why was this? Only about a year ago, Batman carried a gun and murked people left and right. The origin of the no-kill rule is actually pretty simple. Bob Kane, in his biography, Batman and Me, explained the origin of his rule. We had our first brush with censorship over Batman's use of a gun in Batman #1. In one story in that issue, he had a machine gun mounted on his Batplane and used it. We didn't think anything was wrong with Batman carrying guns because the Shadow used guns. Bill Finger was called on the carpet by Whitney Ellsworth. He said, "Never let Batman carry a gun again." The editors thought that making Batman a murderer would taint his character and mothers would object. The new editorial policy was to get away from Batman's vigilantism and bring him over to the side of the law. The actual editorial policy states, heroes should never kill a villain, regardless of the depth of the villainy. The villain, if he is to die, should do so as a result of his own evil machinations. So technically every DC hero had a no-killing rule. But when was it really explored in a Batman story? Has Batman ever explained his rule, or was it ever even really explored? The first story I remember as no-killing rule being an actual plot point was A Death in the Family. Bruce contemplates whether or not he should kill the Joker after the Joker beats Jason Todd with a crowbar, then blows him up. Batman has full intention of finally killing the clown, but then the clown disappears in an explosion and things are left unresolved. Of course, you have stories like The Killing Joke where Batman says things like this,
I don't want to hurt you. I don't want either of us to end up killing the other. But we're running out of alternatives. I could rehabilitate you. You don't need to be alone. We don't have to kill each other.
Or The Dark Knight Returns where he says things like this,
All the people I've murdered by letting you live.
I never kept count.
I did.
or maybe it's just the fact that the Batman most of us remember and worship never used a gun or killed anyone. Perhaps there is no real origin of his one rule in the story of Batman. Perhaps the rules set by publishers restricted writers from allowing Batman to kill, and that restriction gradually became a part of his character over time. So if the classic writers never really gave a reason for Batman not killing, maybe there is no real reason. Maybe it just makes sense that a boy, a highly trained, highly intelligent boy, who was so traumatized by his parents' death that he has spent his entire life torturing himself emotionally and physically so that no boy can ever witness what he witnessed, so that no boy can ever feel the pain he feels every moment of every day. Maybe it just makes sense that that boy man, that Batman, would never take a life. Criminals have children, the goons he murders on screen have children. What sense does it make for a victim of trauma to enact that same trauma onto others? The answer is pretty simple. It doesn't. The actual conflict in a Batman story. Good Batman stories almost never focus on the physical conflict. Will Batman beat the Joker? Yeah. Will he be able to survive the story? Yeah. Good Batman stories focus on the moral or ethical dilemma of Batman. Is what Batman does right? Should he kill the Joker? Is he just a crazy guy with money?
Damn good television.
American Psycho, my guy.
If Batman kills injustice, then he becomes injustice. If he takes a life, he becomes the man who took the life of his parents. If Batman decides to murder criminals, then there is...
I just thought of the perfect movie. Batman versus Bateman. See American Psycho, and he goes off killing all these bums in the street. And Batman has to take him out.
really no story to be told. Mr. Freeze is icing people. Bam, dead. Two-Face can't make up his mind on what to eat for breakfast. Bam, dead. If Batman is a murderer, stories like Under the Red Hood can't exist. Stories like the Arkham games can't exist. The Dark Knight Returns can't exist. The Killing Joke can't exist. Jason is mad at Bruce for not killing the Joker. The Joker is fascinated by Batman's no-kill rule in the Arkham series. And if we are looking at the Dark Knight Returns, if Batman does indeed kill in that book, as Zack explained in his interview, and some fans tend to think, then the go-to government gopher, Superman, has reason to take Batman down. If Batman kills, why the hell would Jim Gordon work with him? Jim, buy the motherfucking book, Gordon.
Go after him. I want him brought in. And I want it done by the book.
As soon as you establish Batman as a killer on screen, that universe, that Batman becomes so much less interesting. Look at the conclusion to the Batman v Superman conflict in the hit film Batman v Superman, directed by the hit director Zachary Edward Snyder.
Tell me. Do you bleed?
The Martha moment that we all make fun of would work on paper if Batman wasn't a killer. View this infamous scene and pretend Batman didn't just shoot a man with his .50 caliber machine guns and then blow him up. Essentially pretend Batfleck has a no-killing rule, and that Superman is the first life that Bruce is willing to take.
You were never a god. You were never even a man.
Alright, so in this film, this line comes off as typical uber-masculine bullshit, but if we are viewing this Batman as someone who doesn't kill, this line almost comes off as Bruce trying to justify to himself that he is about to take a life. If Bruce views Clark as an alien, then he doesn't have to worry about breaking his one rule, which would explain why Affleck seems so damn crazy in this scene. So he's finally about to do it. He is finally about to take a life, something he has never done before. He's finally about to plunge that spear into his white whale.
You're letting him kill Martha.
Martha. Of course, Bruce's PTSD is going to kick in and he's going to freak out as soon as he hears his
But look how badass that suit looks. Come on. You can't hate Batman vs Superman if it has a suit in it.
mother's name, but what if, now remember in this theoretical film, Batman has never killed before? What if remembering his parents' death made him remember what he has spent his whole life fighting against? The bullet that killed his father, the bullet that killed his mother, the bullet that killed Martha. Bruce has now become that bullet. He has become Joe Chill. He has become that which he stops. So he freaks the fuck out as any Batman would.
Why did you say that name?
Clark is now shaking with fear. Lois runs in.
Please, stop!
Alright, I get what's being said. Alright. I get it. All of what he's saying makes sense. But I also believe, and maybe not for the biggest movie adaptation done for Batman, but different artists have different takes on characters. They have different takes on stories, and they tell it in their own way. And I can also see how someone would want to take a character and put them in a different light, have them function differently to where, I don't know, it's iffy. I feel like I'm just how can I not piss off the fanboys? I am fucking art imitates art. People are gonna do things their own way. They're gonna artistically redo these characters as they want, whether it be Superman, whether it be, it's like Superman doesn't kill. But then there's that great comic that came out. I think I did a read through. I think that's like one of the ones I did a read through with on YouTube. It's like they read the comic out loud. Was when Lois Lane died, and that's all it took. And I'm sure a lot of Superman fans were mad about it. That's all it took for him to basically, I mean, he didn't go evil, because for Superman it was pretty bad. He was like, oh, I'm trying to protect the world. If there's no more guns, or there's no more nukes, or there's no more crimes happening, and I take out the people that are doing the crimes, then we can live in a, utopia, pretty much. And I get it with what he's trying to say with Batman, but there's also, it's kind of like black and white. Like what he's saying is the examples he's using and the what ifs, it's really black and white. I like characters there's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of that they're fighting morally within themselves what they should do or not. This is also older Bruce Wayne. I feel like we're seeing, I don't know, like he doesn't have time sometimes. Maybe he's made mistakes to where he took too long trying to, knock every one of these bad guys out in a warehouse and pull them all up by their feet with a freaking bata, whatever the hell, and try to knock them all unconscious, try not to kill anybody. Maybe that time ended in the death of an innocent civilian. Maybe he's learned from his mistakes. Maybe that's something we haven't seen in this. Batman or Robin died. I know there's comics covering the death of some of the Robins. I know there's like 3 or something like that, because I've been doing a little research. But, and I'm not saying they all die. I don't know. But I feel like things like that lead to people being more, a little bit harder, a little bit darker. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Morally flexible. That would break some people. It didn't break Batman. Look at him. He's still doing his thing. I mean, yeah, in the movie I don't really get why he was going after Superman the way he was. And then the whole Martha thing was kind of stupid. Like, even if he was saying that he did have no kill code and the Martha thing would make more sense, I still don't think it would make sense, because it was such a, I wish out of all the scenes in Batman vs Superman, I wish that would have got taken out and replaced with something a little bit different. I also wish there was a better reasoning for him going after Superman. Maybe he thought that he did something that didn't actually happen, and it was actually like Lex Luthor who did something like terrible, and he thought it was Superman, and that's why he went after him. But there was no good reason why he went after him. I don't know, maybe there's like something I missed that I can't think of right now. And you're like, oh, well, the reason went after him. Anyways, I agree. Those two things about Batman vs Superman was stupid. I'm not defending this bat till I die. I'm not going to defend myself on that hill till I die, no matter what, in any kind of way. I'm not saying this is the best like Batman thing I've ever watched. I'm just saying that the way this guy's kind of looking at it is very black and white. But who knows? Maybe this is the video that kind of got me thinking, and I'm going to go through all the freaking stuff that has to do with Batman, and I'm going to come to my conclusion at the end. But right now, like, I understand the moral, middle ground that Batman can traverse, because you can't just be all good. You can't be. Not in a really good story, this isn't freaking Superman saving a cat from the tree.
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name. It's his mother's name.
Now Bruce finally realizes. Bruce realizes that he is about to kill someone. Kill a man who has a mother. Kill a boy who has a mother named Martha. Essentially, if Bruce killed Clark in that moment, he would be killing what is left of the 8-year-old who also had a mother named Martha. So he throws the spear away. That Martha moment works, and actually works super fucking well. If Batman does not kill. Well, too fucking bad. 30 seconds after the scene, he guns down 6 goons. Batman v Superman is not made better by the fact that Bruce is an old, tired badass who is now branding and killing criminals. It is made worse. It is not some dramatic storytelling tool. It is an excuse for Snyder to blow shit up and attempt to deconstruct a Batman which he never bothers to construct.
But Alex, he lost Jason Todd. It is all a part of his arc.
No, he lost Jason Todd in the comics. Did he kill the Joker for it? No. Did he want to? Yes, of course, but did he go through with it? No, because he's Batman, and Batman does not kill.
Forget everything I said about Robin.
Why this matters.
My God.
I've made this abundantly clear throughout my time on this YouTube channel. I love Batman. I love Batman too much. I love Batman so much that it's definitely an unhealthy obsession. But I haven't really explained why I find the character of Bruce Wayne so fascinating. Batman stories, to me, are the ultimate tale of turning pain and suffering into something positive. That is a story that everyone can relate to because, let's be honest here, the world can suck. My parents were never gunned down in an alley. I never fell into a well of bats. But I've experienced and probably will always experience feelings of fear, of depression, of anger, of angst. It's in my nature as a human being to experience those things. It's in all our nature. It is what we choose to do with that pain that we all feel that defines us. Batman chose to turn all those negative emotions he feels into a symbol that can bring people hope. Hope that Batman will save us from pain. But more importantly, hope that we can all be Batman.
Why do we fall, sir?
So we can get back up. Alfred?
So we can learn to pick ourselves up.
Yeah.
Still haven't given up on me.
Never.
I wonder if there's a story
Yes,
where
Bruce
they
Wayne
killed
is
Alfred.
a flawed, crazy person. He is at times mean, stubborn, and even abusive, but he is still good. He is still someone we can aspire to be. We can try our hardest to be Superman, but no human being can fly, but we can all try to be Batman. We can all try to turn our pain into something good. When I see Batman killing people or fans in the comments section telling me that he kills all the time, it pains me. It actually hurts my soul. Batman is not about finding a way to kill evil, but try to redeem it. His mission is an impossible task. Maybe he should kill people. In fact, he probably should kill madmen like the Joker. But what makes him fascinating, what makes him a hero, is the fact that he has that moral code and can stop himself from crossing that line. That's why I always looked up to Batman, even as a kid.
Sorry if we keep pausing it, but I feel like I'm going to forget it. So, let's go back.
Redeem it. His mission isn't even as a kid.
His mission is an impossible task. And instead of killing evil, he could redeem it. Could just kill all these evil people, and then there'd be no more, like Superman I was talking about in the comic, where he kind of takes over the planet. Maybe going through this is a little bit of soul searching. Maybe my moral compass needs to be, you know, tried a little bit. Because when I thought about that, it's pretty much saying no compromise. And when I think of no compromise, I think of Rorschach in The Watchmen, because that's one of his things. He says no compromises. And at the end, spoiler alert for Watchmen, if you haven't seen it or read it, you pretty much have Ozzy, who he cares about the earth. He cares about the people, in a way, right? That's what he says. And he believes totally in kill someone to save 1,000. And that number multiplies to millions, but he wants to kill millions in order to save billions. And they're on the verge of war, and so he pretty much, in the comics, he teleports the giant octopus alien that he made, and in that story arc, the people come together. They're like, oh, an alien invasion. So instead of trying to fight with each other and nuke each other and turn the world into apocalyptic, you know, Fallout cesspool, they all come together to hopefully fight this impending alien invasion. And in the movies, instead, he uses like these bombs that give off Dr. Manhattan's energy, and it kills millions. It's put in like all the major cities around the world. And so then the world governments come together. They're like, Dr. Manhattan did this. We have to come together and stop him. And then that's when Dr. Manhattan dips the heck out of the galaxy, pretty much. But he talks to Ozzy, and Ozzy's like, you know, I did this so I could save billions because we're on the verge of war and it's going to happen. And Dr. Manhattan was like, I understand. And he's like, I get why you did this. I'm just going to leave and I'm going to not tell anybody. Before he does that, Rorschach is like, no compromises. You can't just perform evil in order to do what you think is a good thing. And so he's going to go tell everybody about it. And then Dr. Manhattan ends up killing him because he's like, you can't let that happen. Especially since it already happened. Those lives have been sacrificed for nothing. So that's something that I think is like a really good story arc, really great ending, plot twist. I really enjoyed that, and it makes you think, what are you willing to do in order to get the best result? What are you willing to give up? I'm in the military, and I had a buddy come back from a training that he did, and he said that in this training they do pretty much, these are people that they send like overseas, and they're dressed as civilians and they're blending in with other people, and they're doing stuff that normal people wouldn't do. And there's a lot of quick ass in this, and one of them was crazy. Like, if you had a child, a young girl, and you had to give her over to like a sex trafficking organization in order to get really good information, or like I don't know, I forgot what the result was. It was like pretty much like to get information that was going to help a lot of other people. Would you do it? Would you give a child to these sex trafficking people in order to get that? And he said the people would have to talk about, have a conversation over it, like, I would do this for this reason, or I wouldn't do that for this reason. And I think, you know, things like this come into the conversation, like, what are you willing to do? What lines you're willing to cross in order to get the better result, the better outcome? Would you push the button to kill millions of people in order to save the entire earth? Or would you not do that? The Dark Knight, it comes up with the boats where they have to press the other button. They're like, here you can press a button first and this ship will explode, or you press a button first, this ship will explode, and one of them's full of prisoners, one of them's full of civilians, and it ends up being the civilians don't press a button for the prisoners because nobody wants that blood on their hands. It's not that they're not, you know, it's not that they're not cowards or anything like that. It's just they don't want to take lives in order to, I don't know, save everybody else on the boat, you know, kids and stuff like that. And the prisoners don't do it either. And that's pretty much where Batman tells Joker, he's like, see, the world is not what you think it is. It's not this corrupt, dirty thing. It's people, and people care about each other. And so you kind of, yeah, it's one of those gray areas. And with the Watchmen, I really like that aspect of the story. With the Dark Knight, I like that aspect of the story. But it seems like the Batman does fall more into, you know, no compromising, which is cool. So it's going to be interesting going throughout this whole Batman series and seeing all these different situations that pop up where I would think in my thought process, you know, and people look at themselves in these characters and they look at themselves and what would they do in these situations. And that's why we watch these characters and their arcs, and you know, that's why we lose ourselves in these stories. And so it's going to be interesting seeing stuff that Batman's going to do, which I feel like is going to be a lot different than what I would do. Because I kind of, in a way, do believe in the kill one to save thousands type mentality. But then again, like what I was talking about with the part of the military where they went and did this training, I don't think I could hand over a child, man, to sex trafficking, you know, people. I don't think I could do it. I no matter the information, or if they're like, if you do it, then they'll give us the codes to this bomb that's going to explode in the inner city. It's just, it's, man, like, what would you do? I don't know. It's tough to think about something like that. And people are put in them situations every day. And it's great to see these stories, and they're all flashy, and it looks cool because of the Batman and their deep voice, and all this stuff sounds cool and looks cool, and the, you know, Batmobile. But in the center of it all, it can have really great stories that reflect humanity and actual things that people have to deal with and make decisions on.
Yeah. Despite all the adult subtext or mature themes, superheroes are for kids. Imagine being a kid in that theater watching your favorite superhero brand people, shoot people, blow people up, and try to murder Superman.
But Alex, Iron Man, Captain America, and all the Marvel heroes kill people.
I'm sick of getting this fucking comment. There is a big difference between this and this. If you can't see that difference,
I can't see the difference. I mean, yeah, I guess I see the difference. I love it.
Kill you.
That is not Bruce Wayne. That is not Bruce Wayne. And that is certainly not Bruce Wayne. That is an interpretation of Bruce Wayne that completely misses the point of Batman. It's easy to kill. Batman does not make the easy choice. Batman does not kill.
Alright, so I've already told my perspective pretty much throughout the whole video. We'll see at the end of this how I feel differently about it. I am a big Marvel fan. They kind of pointed it out. It's not as bloody and dark as the DCU, but Marvel does kill people, you know. It is what it is. Alright, yeah. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you'd like to see mostly in this Batman story series we're about to dive into. I am gonna upload somehow a list of everything in order that I'm gonna watch and see. The comics in order that I've kind of did a little research, and like they're like, oh, this comic you want to start off with first, which is like year 1, and then this comic follows that, then do that one, then do that, and pretty much in order of how it should be read. I want to read some of the comics and then kind of do like a review over it. Some of them you can find on YouTube, and they kind of do read-alongs, which would be nice to have. Some of them just kind of like they show like the pages of the story, and they pretty much just tell you what happens instead of reading along the comic. They just tell you what happens in each like part of the story. So I'm going to read the comic, and then I'll post the video of them going over it. Pretty much that's how each video is going to be different because of what I had to work with. I do have like 4 of the comic books, so maybe I'll like do a read along myself, the kind of the way they do it on YouTube. But yeah, hey, tell me what you like. Tell me what you think about Batman. Does he kill? Does he not kill? Why or why not? Yeah. I also want to make this a conversation between people. Peace out.